I've always been a big fan of the idea of Stardew Valley. The gameplay, the art style, the characters. I've barely played this game. Every time I boot up the game, I just play a couple in-game days and then forget about my farm for like a year. But I really love 100 Days in Stardew Valley videos, and I've been wanting to make my own, so I thought it would be interesting to do a 100 Days in Stardew Valley video from the perspective of a beginner. A lot of these videos use guides or already have some prior knowledge, so I wanted to try to reach my goals without these things. However, I wasn't really sure what would be a realistic goal, so I asked for help from my friend Liz the Lass, who also just recently put out a 100 Days in Stardew Valley video, and I asked for some help. By the way, go check out that video if you haven't, it's very good. Liz said that for a beginner, some good goals would be completing the community center and getting married, which yeah, seems about right. A lot of people are able to do those things in their 100 days video, so I don't think it should be too bad. So now that we have our goals, let's see what happened in these 100 days. Things started off like anything else would. Grandpa died, and I left my cushy office job where I send 3 emails a day to go fend for myself in the wild. I got to see my new farm, and I woke up to some work being left at my house. Oh yeah, I'm missing that computer chair already. Lewis told me to go meet everybody, so I went into town to make friends. Since I'm not using any guides at all for this, I have no idea where anybody was going to be, which might make things a little bit more complicated, but I don't know, something about marrying somebody because I looked up what their favorite flower was just doesn't sit right with me. I'm pretty sure everybody was asleep when I got into town, so I just started digging through the trash until everybody woke up. I ran into Penny, who I'm pretty sure I want to marry, so I gave her a daffodil that I found while I was foraging. I also stopped by Pierre's to introduce myself, as well as buy some cauliflowers and green beans. Or I guess green bean. For some reason I only bought one. I ended the day off by making a small area to plant my seeds and turned it into what I can only assume will be an incredibly impressive farm. When I woke up on day 2, I made sure to water my crops, and I saw I got a letter from Willie asking me to meet up with him. When I stopped by the beach, I got a fishing pole, and you know what they say, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But teach a man to fish, and he'll spend pretty much all of day 2 just fishing. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna need for the community center, so for now I was just holding on to everything in case there was something that I was missing. I know I would probably be fine selling this stuff, I could probably get it again, but I just don't want to take that risk. Sebastian also came out of his cave, and he was the last person that I needed to talk to complete the journal entry for introductions, which means I now know everybody in town. Right after that, I beat some worms to death and they gave me rice shoots, which I went and planted even though I'm not really sure what I would need rice for. I guess if the worms gave it to me, it's gotta have some kind of significance. And I ended off the day by leveling up my foraging. Day 3 it was raining, so luckily I didn't have to worry about watering my crops, and my journal told me to go give something to someone, so I once again gave Penny a daffodil, and I got paid for it. I really know the way into a woman's heart. I tried fishing in every area that I could because I'm pretty sure some fish only spawn during the rain and I really didn't want to miss out on them. I was able to get an eel as well as an iridium quality halibut, which seemed important, so I put them in my chest. I was getting ready to dig in some trash some more, but right as I was about to do it, Lewis and Leah walked by, so I just had to act natural. I think he's onto me. I wasted the rest of my energy trying to get resources, and I ended up getting level 1 fishing. I plan to spend some of day 4 looking for spring onions because the TV told me to, and you should always listen to what your TV says. When I made it outside, I saw I received a letter from a mouse asking me to meet it in the forest to buy some hats. This game rules. As I was doing my usual trash run, I got a piece of topaz out of a can, which was actually really nice because I'm pretty sure you can get these mostly from the mines, which were not open at this point, so this was about the only way that I could get it, I think. I found where the spring onions were hiding, and I also ran across Hat Mouse, but sadly I was too broke to buy anything from him. After that, I spent my last remaining money on parsnips and green beans to expand the farm just a little bit. For the rest of the day, I went fishing to expand my ever-growing collection of sea creatures that I kept in a box outside of my house, and I got level 2 fishing. At the start of day 5, I got a letter from JojaMart telling me that the mines were open, but I didn't really care that much because I had finally grown my first set of parsnip seeds, which was very exciting. I got money from completing that goal, so I spent that on some potatoes since I would need them for a bundle. More specifically, I bought 2 potatoes since that is all that I could afford. Man, I'm ready to start selling stuff. When I got back to the farm, I realized it was looking extremely sad, so I went out to go foraging so that I could sell some of those items since I knew that they would respawn pretty often. I also ran into the traveling merchant, but I was just looking because if you remember, I'm broke. After that, I made my way over to the newly opened mines and got a sword, as well as the desire to kill, so I made my way down. I got a crab down in the mines, and also on level 5 I found a club which did so much more damage than that little sword that I had, so I switched it out. I also got a glow ring, which helps a lot because it gets really dark in this game for some reason. Overall, it was a really good first trip to the mines. I ended the day off getting level 1 farming and level 1 mining, and I made a good bit of money that I could spend on some more crops. When I woke up on day 6, Clint ambushed me at my house to tell me how to make a furnace. If only level 1 mining taught me how to craft a restraining order. I made a scarecrow, even though I highly doubt the crows would care about my 15 crops, but it did continue the journal entries. Lewis finally invited me to take a look at the community center, and he told me that if someone bought one more JoJo Mart membership, he would just turn it into a warehouse. And listen, I love expanding businesses. More work equals more jobs, and I wanted there to be something useful here instead of a gross, broken down building. So I made my way over to JoJo Mart and got ready to place my membership in. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I may be a beginner, but I know you're not supposed to do that. I went back to the community center to donate some items, but sadly I don't know how to read Spanish, so I didn't know what the Junimos wanted. I went and donated my first item to help fill out the museum, and Demetrius asked for an anchovy, which I already had in my pocket, so I dropped one off. Doing all these things got me some more money, so I bought more crops, and I also almost messed up planting these green beans. I'm pretty sure you can't plant green beans too close or else you'll never be able to reach the inner ones, but luckily these ones just barely worked out. I spent the rest of the day just Minecrafting until I ran out of energy. On day 7, I got a letter from the wizard asking me to stop by, and when I got there, he did a weird magic trick, then we took drugs, and I learned how to speak Spanish. I went to go donate, and it turns out I only had 2 of the items that I needed for foraging. All that saving, and for some reason I still don't have a leek or a dandelion, so I went back out to try to find some. I found a dandelion but didn't have any luck on the leek, so I went back to the mine since it was raining, and I wanted to take advantage of that. I made it all the way down to level 10 and got some very cool new boots, and I placed some torches outside of my house that I had mined. I ended off day 7 with level 1 combat. I was finally able to harvest the rice on day 8, and when I did it said it was unmilled rice. I don't have a mill. To the box you go. I ran into Leah and accidentally clubbed her, then she asked why I wanted to be a farmer. Is it more real than living in the city? None of this is real, it's a video game. Follow my grandpa's footsteps. No, he died, I don't want to be like him. Money seems like the safest option. Unfortunately, Leah did not see the same and was a little disappointed in my answer. Oh well, you're not the one I wanted to marry anyway. I spent most of this day just trying to find a leek, but for some reason I couldn't find it, so I just went back to the farm and got more resources. But I did end up getting level 2 foraging, which was nice. That level 2 foraging must have been working, because on day 9 I found a leek and donated it, which I guess made the jelly beans happy because they opened up another area for me to donate in. Since the fish tank was open, I grabbed all the fish that had been rotting in a box for 9 days, and I brought them to go donate. On my way there, I saw Penny was hanging out with Sam, which made me a little bit nervous because, I mean, come on, he's way cooler than me. So I gifted her some of the trash topaz, which she loved. We don't have to tell her where it came from, though. I lost the rest of the footage for day 9, but basically all that I did for the rest of the day was donate the fish I could and sold the rest. On day 10, I adopted a cat, and when I hit the randomize button on its name, it said Fernard, which is kind of funny, so I just kept it. One of my parsnips was gold quality, so I had 1 out of the 5 that I needed, and I saw that I could make fertilizer which would help with producing high quality crops. At this point, I thought that you had to put them in the ground before you planted any seeds, so I didn't make any yet. I broke up with some of the geodes that I got from the mines and donated enough to get some more cauliflower seeds. I also talked to Penny and she mentioned that there isn't any school here, which is kind of weird. How does anyone learn anything? Later on, Penny tells me that she's lived here all her life, which means she also did not go to school, so is this just like the blind leading the blind or something? A good thing there's only 2 children that live here, or I'd be worried about Pelican Town's future. I happened to take a look at the calendar and saw it was Vincent's birthday today. What are the little kids like? Monster trucks? Best I can do is some bread I found in the trash. Happy birthday, buddy. I wanted to try to get a coop soon, so I worked on chopping more wood since you need a pretty decent amount of it to build a coop. I made some fertilizer and plan to buy some more parsnips tomorrow to get some quality ones. As I was leaving the bar, I got a cutscene where Linus was digging through the trash. Hey, that's my thing. He told George he would stop digging in trash, which was great because it meant that the trash was all mine. I did feel a little bit bad though, because Linus said he was really hungry, and I found a pie in the trash that's literally just sitting in the chest. Oh well. Robin lost her axe on day 11, and for some reason it was my responsibility to find it. I couldn't stay mad though, because I finally had some potatoes and green beans that I could donate. After that, I decided to go fishing since I figured that that would be the hardest bundle to finish due to them all spawning at different times in season, and since I wasn't using a guide, it was going to be a lot harder for me to know what I needed to get when. While I was fishing, I was really getting into it, but then Sam came over and started staring at me, and it really threw off my vibe, so I gifted him a raw fish so that he would leave me alone. I fished all the way into the night, and I was trying to find something for the night fishing bundle, and eventually got a brim. At the start of day 12, I remembered that spring onions are a thing, so I made my way down to their spot to go pick them up, and while I was there, I saw Robin's axe, which is odd because I've never seen Robin over there. How did it end up here? I brought it back to her and also checked what was needed for a coop so I could have a better idea of what I actually needed to be doing. I was still pretty broke, so I went fishing to try to catch up on my cash, and in the process, I got a largemouth bass. One of the fishing chests had a frozen geode in it, which I had not seen up to this point, so I made sure to hold on to it. Other than that, I got level 2 farming and level 3 fishing. My mom sent me cookies on day 13, which was nice, but I can find full pies in the trash, so I really didn't care. My cauliflower was grown today, but it was the day of the egg festival, so I couldn't donate it yet. I tried to deplete as much energy as I could before I made my way over there, and when I eventually did, I was able to buy some strawberries, though I don't think I actually need them to donate to anything. But I don't know, they seemed important, so I bought a couple. I participated in the egg hunt and beat 2 children to be the winner of a hat that I could have just bought from a mouse, but it was still nice to know that I won. After the festival, I donated a cauliflower, which completed the spring foraging bundle, and it unlocked the boiler room. After that, I made my way home and planted the strawberries and went to sleep. When I woke up on day 14, I only had half of my energy for some reason, and I didn't know why. Actually, I still don't know why. I have no idea. I made sure to pet for Nard, and when I saw he was standing next to something, it looked like it was a water bowl, so I tried to water it and it filled up. I'm not sure if this is actually something that you're supposed to be doing or if it's just a little visual thing, but I'm gonna make sure I do it as much as I can. After I farmed, I had no energy left, so I decided to go talk to people since I barely had any hearts with anybody. I got a cutscene of some children playing in sewage water, which raised a couple questions for me. I was a little concerned with how close the spring onions were to the toxic looking water, but I think maybe I just won't eat any of the crops that come out of this place. I made my way into town and gifted Abigail some amethyst because, well, it's purple, she's purple, it just kind of made sense. And yeah, she loved it. I can read these people like a book. I ran into the traveling merchant and bought a sandfish and pike because I wasn't sure how hard they would be to catch, and I knew that they were going to be needed for a bundle. Also, while I was fishing, I got some more rice shoots, which I still don't know what to do with, but I'm sure they're good to have. Day 15 was rainy, so I decided to go down to the mine since I didn't have to actually water my crops today. The TV also told me that salmonberry bushes were around, so I shook every bush I saw on the way there to hopefully get some. While I was down in the mines, I got a diamond from an enemy, which was really cool because those don't usually spawn until about level 50. I got down to level 20 and found a sword that was not as good as my club, so I just left it there and went back to get my fishing rod. On the way there, I donated to the museum and got melons for next season and a standing geode statue which I placed outside of the museum. I made sure to put a sign next to the chest so I wouldn't forget there were melons in there when summer rolls around. Trust me, I would forget otherwise. When I went back into the mines, I caught a ghost fish, but I didn't make it home in time, so I fell asleep. When I woke up on day 16, I saw my spring seeds had grown and they were foraging items, which is a little disappointing because I kind of thought that they would be crops. I went to Pierre's to buy more parsnips, and when I walked in, Morris offered 50% off his items, which was tempting, but I'm pretty sure I would get canceled if I tried to shop at Joja Mart. I bought a ton of parsnips and crafted as much fertilizer as I could, and ended off with level 3 foraging and farming. I checked the calendar on day 17 and saw that Pam's birthday was tomorrow, so I bought her a beer since she's got like a drinking problem or something, so I'm sure she would love this. I'm so good at gifts. I finally had enough money to build a coop, so I grabbed wood and stone and made my way over to Robin, but sadly I needed more wood than I thought, so I went back to my farm and started chopping. By the time I had enough, it was past 5, meaning Robin's store was closed, so all I did was fish. When I went to sleep, a fairy flew around my farm and did something to my cauliflower. Not really sure what that meant. I immediately went to go check what could have been done to the cauliflowers, and they were fully grown, so I guess that's just the whole point of the fairy. Robin finally could start building my coop, and while I waited for that to be done, I went fishing because I was out of money again. I went and upgraded my pole so that I could finally use bait, and during one cast, I got a treasure chest that had a dinosaur egg? There's dinosaurs in this game? Yes, I know I said I wouldn't be using any guides for this, but I'm not about to squander the opportunity to have a dinosaur living in my farm, and yeah, Apparently you can hatch dinosaurs. I decided to hold on to the egg instead of donating it because apparently these things are pretty rare. I also remembered it was Pam's birthday, so I brought her the beer and probably worsened her problem, but hey, I got some more hearts with her, so it's fine. Day 19, Jody asked me for some fresh cauliflower, which I probably would have had today if the fairy hadn't come and sped up the production, so sorry Jody, but you'll just have to wait, I guess. I decided I wanted to upgrade my axe so I could break the large tree stumps I saw, but I needed more money and copper bars, so I went back down to the mines. While I was down there, I found a cave carrot, which I was able to donate, and I smelted the copper that I found so I had enough to get the upgrade, and I ended the night off with level 2 mining. At the start of day 20, I had 4 out of the 5 needed quality parsnips, which was a huge relief because when I originally played this game, I got maybe like 1 or 2 quality items. It was just nice to know that the challenge wasn't going to be completely messed up because of a mistake that I made in the first season. I wanted to make a tapper, so before I dropped off my axe, I knocked down some trees to make one in order to get tars and syrup. And once I was sure that I didn't need it, I dropped it off to Clint to hold on to for a couple days. Haley said she would heart me forever if I found her a sunfish, which honestly seemed like a small price to pay for eternal love, so I broke out the pole and caught one first try, so maybe I'm meant to be with her? I also saw it was Shane's birthday, but unfortunately I hate Shane, so even though I do have things I could give him, I will not be giving him anything. I raised my farming level and at the time did not pay attention to any of the new crafting items that I got, which was definitely a mistake. My coop was finally ready on day 21 and I was super excited because it meant I could start raising animals. I also saw I had more cauliflowers so I could bring some to Jody, so I dropped some off and on the way I bought even more parsnips because I really did not want to miss out on the entire community center because I was 1 quality parsnip off. I got a cutscene where George and Penny argued and I had to pick a side. The cranky old man or the cute girl that I have a crush on? Yeah, that's a tough one. After proving my loyalty to Penny, I stopped by Marnie's so that I could buy a chicken. I forgot to mention when Liz helped me come up with the goals for this, she said that I needed to name a chicken 3-piece combo from Cane's for her, so this little guy is going to be known as Cane's 3-piece because that other name didn't fit. We will treasure him forever. On day 22, my copper axe was finally ready, so I stopped by to pick it up, and I also got the 7 geodes from the mine opened up. I ended up with a duplicate, and it said it was for people who liked rocks, and since Demetrius does like science stuff, I felt like that probably meant I should try to gift it to him. Boy was I wrong. He didn't even pretend to like it, he just hated it. Oh well, I guess that's what I get for trying to get to know people, sorry. With my new axe, I could complete the construction bundle, so I hit some trunks to get hardwood, but that made me run out of energy really quick, so I just went to sleep early and got level 4 foraging. At the start of day 23, I needed a little bit more wood to finish the construction bundle, so I worked on that and also decided to gift Penny the pie that I found in the trash since it was just kind of sitting in the chest and I wanted her to love me. I was now good enough friends with her that I could just walk into her room uninvited, which seems like a safety hazard, but she liked the pie, so it's all good. I finished up the construction bundle, which in turn gave me a charcoal kin as well as the bulletin board opening. I stopped by to check it out and got a little bit nervous because I had no idea how to get most of these items, but it's alright because I mean tons of people complete the community center year 1, so it can't be that complicated. Red cabbage. Where have I heard something about red cabbage before? There's something in the back of my mind telling me red cabbage is important. It almost feels, I don't know, completely dependent on this item to complete everything in year 1. Yeah, it's probably nothing. Day 24 was pretty nice because I had all the quality parsnips I needed, even though it was much closer to the end of the season than I wanted to, but hey, at least I have them. I realized today was the flower dance, which would be a great opportunity to meet people and maybe even fall in love, who knows. But even more important than that, Cane's 3-piece grew up and was ready to start making eggs. Oh, they grow up so fast. I made my way over to the flower festival and saw all of the eligible ladies standing around and just waiting to be swept off their feet. Hey Penny, you want it? Oh, okay, no worries. You know, Abigail, I've always found you kind of cute. Oh, sorry about that. I started getting desperate. I even started asking the guys because it seems like they were in the same boat as me, but the same thing happened. Nobody wanted to dance with me. I thought video games were supposed to be an escape. This is getting a little too real for me. So I just spent the whole dance watching other dudes dance with my girl. And my girl. And my other girl. And there's only one way to handle rejection, and that's with some good old-fashioned wood chopping. So I worked on resources and said goodnight to Fernard, who really was the only one who's ever been there for me. It was raining again on day 25, and I had good luck, so I figured I would go down to the mines, but honestly not that much happened. I made it down to level 37, but even with the good luck, there isn't really that much to say. I ended off the day by leveling up farming, and I had to choose between crops being worth more or animal products being worth more, and I picked crops since all I had was Cane's 3-piece right now. It just made sense. By day 26, I had saved up a good bit of money, so I decided how much it would cost to upgrade my house. By day 26, I realized housing is expensive, and I think I'm okay with my one-room home for now. I broke open a frozen geode and donated it to the museum, which got me starfruit seeds, which I'm pretty sure I don't need. And if you thought I was finished digging in the trash, no sir, and today I found some perfectly good spicy eel in the trash. I'm saving this trash food for myself. I went to the saloon to hang out with everybody, and I talked to everyone and even gifted Leah a beer. I also watched Demetrius and Robin dance, that was actually kind of cute. I started a quest earlier for Clint where he said that he wanted some copper ore, which I had plenty of, but apparently it had to be freshly mined, because when I went to give it to him, he told me it made him depressed. I should feel bad, but I don't. Day 27 came with a realization. Red cabbage. I finally remembered the deal with that thing. You can't complete the community center before year 1 without red cabbage, which isn't sold until year 2. Yikes. This actually isn't that big of a deal though, because there is a setting when you create your town to make it so that the traveling merchant is guaranteed to sell red cabbage sometime in year 1. That would have been good to know about 27 days ago, but I think I made it inadvertently very hard for myself to complete a goal. Technically, it was still possible because the merchant can sell you red cabbages, it just isn't guaranteed, which kinda sucks. I did a little bit of research and saw that you can have red cabbage seeds drop in the skull cavern, so I decided to go to the mine and hopefully make it to the bottom, and I got super close at level 45. I donated the aquamarine that I found as well as the bat wings, and I saw that it was Emily's birthday, so I gave her some topaz. I ended off with getting level 3 in mining. It was day 28, meaning that it was the last day of the season, so there was no point in farming. I got a frozen tear from a geode, meaning I just needed fire quartz to complete a bundle, so I went back down in the mines, but honestly, I was kind of just losing motivation at this point because it felt like all I could do was try to find whatever I could to get red cabbage. Red cabbage only grows in summer, so if I don't find it soon, I could never complete the community center in this video. I got down to level 57 and got more stuff to put in the community center, and then I just waited for summer to come. It was the first day of summer, so I went and finished the Adventurers bundle, as well as unlocked the Vault, which is just a bundle where you spend money. I went to go buy some summer crops and ended up in the corner of Abigail's room. Not really sure how I got here, but she invited me to play video games with her, which is not a natural reaction to someone sneaking into your room. We beat the level she was stuck on, and I went to buy as many crops as I could and started planting. The rest of the day I just foraged to complete the summer foraging bundle. On day 30, Demetrius came by and offered to make the cave behind my house either a place for bats or for mushrooms. I mean, last time I took drugs I learned Spanish, so mushrooms it is. I decided to go fishing to get money, and I caught a tuna that I could donate, and after that Haley called me dirty, so she is officially off of the crush list. When I went to sleep, an earthquake happened. That's probably nothing to worry about. I woke up to even more work being thrown my way on day 31 when I saw the mayor ask me to find his shorts. Dude, you can't find your own shorts? Why do I have to do this for you? While I was watering my crops, my cat did an insane jump, so that was kinda cool. I gifted Linus a spice berry, and right after that he told me he didn't trust me, so I turned off his fire. What, it's summer, he'll be fine. I, however, will not be fine, as I died in the mines and lost 1,500 gold. I should mention the only reason that I was in the mines was to do a quest which got me 350 gold. So that's good, I guess. On the morning of day 32, the TV explained how I could find certain fish, which was pretty useful, and I got some pine tar from my tapper that I could donate. I stopped by the shop so I could buy some sprinklers, but there weren't any there. Man, how do I get sprinklers? I have no idea where I'm supposed to get these things from. It's a mystery. I went out to try to catch a pufferfish since I knew that I needed that for a bundle, and I got the achievement of Mother Catch, whatever that means. Now I leveled up fishing, and for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to choose to make crab pots, use less materials to craft, but in hindsight, I definitely should have picked the fish option. I think I was having trouble getting copper at the time, so I picked this one to make it easier, but this was such a bad decision, and I'm aware of that. You don't have to tell me, I already know. Day 33 had rain, so I went to buy even more crops, and while I waited for the store to open, I got some rainfish. The traveling merchant was not selling red cabbage, but she did have an apple and a pufferfish, which I went ahead and bought. When I went to donate them, I realized I actually needed 3 apples, but on my way back, she was already gone, so that was a waste of a day. Good news on day 34, my farm was chosen to be featured in the newspaper. Now everyone will know that the only farm in this town is the best one. What a big honor. It's around now that I started to spend most of my daily energy on watering crops, and I was in desperate need of a sprinkler, but guess I couldn't be bothered to check the crafting section. I donated more to the museum and got ancient seeds as well as a recipe for ancient seeds, with the only ingredient being ancient seeds, so that was useful, but I went ahead and planted the seed anyway. I also had a decent amount of wood, so I fixed the bridge on the beach to access the other side, and I got a sea urchin to donate. On day 35, I planned to go to the mines to get some copper for a crab pot, but I realized it would rain tomorrow, so I waited instead. Emily sent me some wool in the mail, which was pretty cool, so I put it away for whenever I would need it. I remembered I had a dinosaur egg just sitting around, and in order to hatch it, I would need a big coop, so I checked the price and immediately went fishing so I could make my dino lab. I donated the chub that I caught and then just sold everything else. On day 36, I went straight to the mines and made it all the way down to level 65 and did not want to push my luck any further than that. Day 37, I wanted to see what animals I could get if I got a big coop, and I saw something a bit suspicious in Marnie's room. That looks a lot like the shorts I'm supposed to be finding. Unfortunately, I wasn't friends enough with Marnie to barge in and steal personal property, so Lewis was gonna have to wait. I got a red mushroom for a bundle and finally had copper bars for the crab pot, which I went and placed in the ocean. On day 38, I realized that the earthquake opened up the train station and, more importantly, the spa. This would be really useful because I could replenish my energy after watering my crops because there's definitely still no way for me to get sprinklers. I was foraging on my farm when I found something odd in the back corner. It was a note from my grandpa saying to await his return on the 3rd year. Excuse me, aren't you dead? Unfortunately, we aren't going to get to year 3 in this video, so we don't get to see my grandpa crisis himself back to the farm, but now I have motivation to keep playing for at least 2 more years. I leveled up my foraging and upgraded tree drops since I felt like wood was going to be an important resource to get. The luau was on day 39, and I needed to bring back the highest quality item that I had, which was the iridium quality halibut I caught all the way back on day 3. This thing has been baking in a wooden chest for about a month, so it'll definitely do something to the potluck. I went around and talked to everyone, it was all pretty normal. Wait, what did you just say? After making my rounds, I dropped the probably decomposed fish in the soup, and the governor liked it, so I really can't complain because I guess it could have been worse. Day 40 was the first day that tomatoes grew, so I donated one of them and then went down to the mines. While I was down there, I got a coffee bean, and I leveled up my farming, which got me the recipe for a quality sprinkler. I can't wait to ignore this as well. Day 41 was odd, to say the least. As soon as I stepped outside, I saw something I did not ever expect to see. A giant mutant melon. I was kind of scared that I would mess something up because I never saw anything like this before, and I'll admit, I looked it up because I really didn't want to mess this up if it was something valuable. Turns out sometimes crops can just merge together and become some kind of super crop. If I had to guess, it's probably got something to do with those chemicals coming out of the store, but I'm no expert. I hit the melon with my axe and it yielded 21 melons, which was great, but sadly none of them were gold quality that I needed for the bundles. Also, Abigail asked me to bring her some topaz so she could prank her dad. I have no idea what that means. I brought it to her and she seemed really excited to do the prank. Not even sure what you could do with a piece of topaz, but she seemed happy, so whatever. I made my way down in the mines and got way too overzealous and died, where I lost a ton of money as well as a dagger that I had been using. The melons I sold did get me a good amount of money back, but that loss still very much hurt me. I finally had blueberries on day 42, so I donated them and then did a bit of fishing. I completed a fishing bundle and got a quality sprinkler as a reward, so you guys can all stop yelling at your screens. Alright, I have a sprinkler now. I was finally financially ready to lose all of my money again, so I bought a house upgrade and I was looking forward to having a kitchen. On day 43, I pretty much just worked on getting wood for the big coop, but that one sprinkler was really saving me time, so it was a good day. Day 44, I got oak resin from a tree and was able to complete the exotic foraging bundle, which rewarded me with some food. I went out to do some fishing and saw a really weird fish with gold on its head, but every time it showed up, I lost it in a couple seconds. I wanted to go purchase more bait, but when I went inside the shop, Willie started telling me about a special thing that I'm not ready to see in the back room. There better not be a dead body back there. I woke up to a whole new room on day 45 since my house was upgraded, and now I had a kitchen, so to celebrate I fried up some eggs courtesy of Kane's 3-piece. I also went and upgraded my coop to a big coop so that I could finally hatch my dinosaur. We're making progress, baby. I was actually starting to feel pretty good about the way that my farm was looking on day 46 with how much progress I had grown and how much crops were growing, so I decided to make my way down to the mines where I made it past level 70. Overall, it was a pretty good day. On day 47, Emily sent me some cloth which I planned to donate, and as I was working on the farm, I realized that the coop was finally upgraded. It's dino time. When I went inside, I saw that Kane's 3-piece also made a large egg which I could donate, and I was starting to feel so good that I wanted to spread that feeling, so I gave Linus a coconut. He loved it. I had a little bit of money left over, so I decided to purchase a duck, and its name randomized to No, so I kept it. I was ambushed at home by Emily on day 48, and she made some very bold assumptions by my abilities so far. Emily, I barely know how to make a sprinkler. Do you really think I know how to get cloth? However, that confidence boost was enough that I needed to donate my final bar of gold to the community center, meaning all that I needed was fire quartz to get the minecarts running again. Days 49 and 50 were both spent in the mine, and pretty much all I did was make my way down, though on day 50 I did get fire quartz, meaning that I could finally donate it. The Jared Letos came out and started cleaning up, and the room looked brand new, as well as the minecarts being fixed. The lowest I ended up getting was level 93, so I was slowly but surely going to get to the bottom of the mines. I donated a lot to the museum on day 51, so much so that I got a singing stone and a big bear as a reward. Nice. I went to go check on Penny, and I got a cutscene where she fights with her drunk mom and gets verbally abused in front of me. Video games. Day 52 also had a cutscene, and this one was really weird. I showed up in Emily's dreams, and she thought it was a sign, and I guess the real me went into her dream world, or else I wouldn't know what's happening, or maybe I'm just seeing it from her perspective, and she's dreaming. The bottom line is, Emily scares me now, and the rest of the day I was so shaken up that all I did was farm for resources to make a barn. On day 53, there were new fishing poles at the shop, but unfortunately the new one was way too expensive for me. I also figured I would upgrade my watering can since it was going to rain tomorrow, and I could stop relying so much on the spa. I went and dropped it off, then worked on getting stone for the rest of the day. I had enough quality melons to put in the bundle on day 54, and I brought a melon to Demetrius since he asked for one. I made my way into the mines a bit later than I had anticipated, but I was able to find the Yeti Tooth Sword, which was a much higher level than the other stuff that I had had. I was super close to getting to level 100, but unfortunately I ran out of time. I ran home and passed out literally right next to my bed. Of course. Day 55, No the duck had grown up and produced a duck egg which I could donate. My copper watering can was ready, and it helped a ton with energy. Not really as much with time, but it was still nice to have. I gave Emily some topaz, and it triggered another cutscene with her. Who is this girl? I also remembered I'm supposed to be stealing some shorts, so I gave Marnie a gift and broke into her room to steal back my mayor's shorts that were left in there. George wanted a hot pepper to rub on his knees. I gave him one. I'm done asking questions in this game. I'm just gonna do what people want. On day 56, I got a duck feather, which was needed for a bundle, and I got another cutscene, this time between Haley and Emily. I had to choose who was in the right, and I picked Emily because honestly, I'm kinda scared she has some kind of magic powers or something. Also, finally purchased a bag upgrade. I should have done this way sooner, but I was worried about other things, like getting a dinosaur. At the end of the night, I watched the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies. Dude, I've seen real-life ghosts. I am not amazed by a jellyfish. The first day of fall has arrived, and I had a reason to make sprinklers since I could arrange the crops how I wanted. I bought 30 of each crop because I wanted to make a ton of money from this stuff, since for the winter, I wasn't going to be able to do any of that. I also definitely knew today was Penny's birthday. Let me just, I hope you like pizza. Day 58 and still no dinosaur. I'm kind of scared something is wrong because this is taking forever, but I have to have faith that my dinosaur will arrive. The townspeople also set up a special orders board so they could force me to do more work while they stand around aimlessly all day. I started the special order of giving Pierre 25 quality crops before the end of the year, which honestly seemed pretty plausible. I realized I would need my kitchen to complete a bundle, so I made the Maki roll and donated it to the community center. On day 59, it happened. My dinosaur finally hatched. The name randomized to Minnie, and I saw the most beautiful creature to ever grace my farm. At this point, I don't care if I didn't reach any of my goals. I have a dinosaur. I still did have to continue on with my day though, so I decided to build a barn so I could have a cow, and I searched around until I completed the foraging bundle. I still had a little bit of time, so I went into the mines and made it to level 100, where I ate a star drop and raised my energy, which was good since my sprinklers were still not great. I was still feeling good on day 60, so I made my way back to the mines and got humbled 7 levels down where I died. But honestly, I didn't lose that much, and I leveled up my mining, so it's fine. When I stepped outside on day 61, I saw Minnie the dinosaur was outside, which was so funny to see. Like, there's a whole dinosaur living on this farm. It was on this day that I realized the animals eat grass to feed, but they don't go outside when it rains, so I needed to have hay for rainy days. I stopped by Marnie's and stocked up so they wouldn't starve, and I also decided to make a cheese press for whenever I was able to get a cow since I could use the milk for a bundle. On day 62, I got an eggplant and donated the quality ones to the store for the special orders board. I planted grapes in the worst way imaginable, but in my defense, I didn't know that they were gonna do this, okay? I did fix it in a little other area, but yeah, I didn't know that this was gonna happen. The barn was ready, so I bought a cow and the name randomized to Sneeners, so yeah, obviously I named it that. While I was there, I also bought another chicken so that I could get brown eggs, and it was named Neeners, which was kind of weird how I got two animals named Sneeners and Neeners right back to back. I finally learned about the power of crafting items, so I decided to make some of the things I probably should have made like 2 seasons ago. I made a recycling machine as well as a preservatives jar so that I could make jams. Now instead of throwing away the trash that I get when I fish, I can put it in the recycling machine and get items like refined quartz, which could be used for sprinklers. I also made another tapper because I wanted to make a bee house for some honey, and I ended off the day with level 6 foraging. Day 64, oh, I've got some mail. Linus wants me to find his basket. Can you people do anything for yourselves? I was able to install some quality sprinklers, and I started a quest to get 1,000 pieces of wood, which seemed pretty easy, but I guess we'll see how it goes. At the start of day 65, I got sent 500 gold for being a gold neighbor, which almost made me feel bad for complaining about my neighbors. Almost. I made my way back to the mines, then ran out of energy on the second floor I went to, but I was still able to get this sick helmet, so it was all worth it. But I still wanted to get to the bottom of the mines. On day 66, I was actually prepared. I made some bombs, I brought things to eat. I was ready to get to the bottom. I made it to level 110, and I started to get a little bit nervous, but I really didn't want to stop. I mean, I was doing pretty well so far. I made it to 115, 116, all the way down to level 119, where I blew up that final rock just in time to make it to the bottom with barely any time left in the day. All this hard work, this prize has got to be something so crazy. I can't wait to Oh, okay. Day 67, I was able to get some yams that I could donate, and I bought a milk pail to milk Sneeners and turn the milk into cheese. After that, I spent all day working on getting wood for Robin's quest. On day 68, I was feeling pretty loving, so I went to Penny in the library and gave her a gift, where she proceeded to trauma dump about her absent father in front of a child. Oh, nice save. Other than that, I saw that there were other dino eggs in the coop, and I will not question that and instead put it in the incubator to get even more dinosaurs. I'm gonna start an army. I got the last bit of wood that I needed on day 69, and I was working on my chest. I saw something in there that I needed. Remember that wool I got from Emily a while back? Well, I didn't, and I could have been using it for an animal bundle, so I went and donated it. Also figured since I was done chopping trees, I could upgrade my axe one more time and get into the secret woods, which was blocked by a large tree that I couldn't break. Day 70 was the day I got pumpkins finally, as well as some maple syrup so I could make the bee house to get honey. I was really grinding at this point to get as much as I could because even though I knew I couldn't complete the community center, I still wanted to see how close I could get to doing it. I brought my axe in to be upgraded and donated the pumpkin, meaning all that I needed was corn to finish that bundle. I was in desperate need for some copper, so I went back to the mines, and the mining gods must have heard my pleas because I got some really good luck on some copper rocks that day. Day 71 was really good for farming as I got corn and enough quality items to finish both the quality and fall bundles. The reward for all that hard work was a bee house, which I had just made like 2 days ago, but you know what they say, 2 bees are better than 1 or something like that. I got some corn and decided to give it to Abigail for some reason. What am I supposed to do with it? It's corn, you eat it. Since winter was approaching pretty quickly, I built a silo because that was the best way to feed the animals once next season hits, and I'm sure it'll be worth the price tag. I was ready to do my thing on day 72 until I realized that it was the Stardew Valley Fair. I did not prepare for this at all, like not even a thought put towards it. Luckily, I just shove items in chests and forget about them, so I picked 9 of the items I thought might be good and made my way in. I played some games that were there and I saw a big wheel where you could gamble. I probably spent too long on betting all my star coins and losing them and then getting more from games than continuing to spin the wheel. But hey, that's what makes gambling so fun. Alright, all or nothing baby on orange, let's do it. Let's go baby, it's not an addiction if you're winning. I was riding that high, so I put my items up for display and somehow won 2nd place. And I know just what to do with these star coins. Uh-oh. I knew I would need a star drop to up my energy, so I quit my gambling hobby and just grinded out fishing until I had enough to buy one. Luckily, I only had the opportunity to gamble like 1 day out of the whole year, so that's good. I mean, if I had easy access to, say, some kind of casino, then I'm not sure if I would be able to stay financially afloat, but luckily we don't have to worry about that. On day 73, I bought another chicken because my last one was the wrong color, so hopefully Lasso won't be white. I got my axe and decided to make my way to the secret woods. It was a really interesting area filled with monsters, and clearly you're not supposed to go in there for a while, so there's gotta be something cool in there. Why do I keep getting my hopes up? Alright, I assume Master Cannoli wants a cannoli, but I don't have the recipe for that, and if he wants something else, I don't know what it is, so that was just kind of a waste. On day 74, I was checking out Sneener's happiness level when I saw something very odd. Allow pregnancy? I'm not sure if I'm the one that should be making that decision. The TV said that there would be lightning tomorrow night, and I remembered hearing something about lightning rods making battery packs, and even though I didn't know what they did, I knew it was probably something that I needed, so I hurried up and made a lightning rod to place outside. I also made a stop at Pierre's and saw he was selling sunflowers, which was needed in a bundle, so I bought a couple before they wouldn't be able to grow. I started to get a bit discouraged because I had no way of knowing how to get some of these items without a guide or more time, but I realized that's kind of the point of this whole video, to show a more beginner take on a 100 days style video. You probably don't get to see as many things happening, but you do get to see a dinosaur, so that should make it worth it. I got a letter on day 75 from Caroline asking for a pumpkin, and for some reason I had one saved, so I put it in my pockets to bring to her later. I stopped inside Pierre's and dropped off the last bit of gold star produce I got, and got 2,500 gold because of it. I don't want to do the math to see if it would have been more just to outright sell the items, but if it keeps Pierre's lights on, that's fine. I went to the mines to kill some slimes for a request, and when I came out, I got a cutscene with Abigail where I played a harp. What is going on? Also, something kind of funny happened. I think there's supposed to be a tree in this scene, since Abigail says come stand under the tree with her, but I cut down that tree earlier, so it's just not there, and we're just standing in the rain. I just thought that was kind of funny. Later in the day, I caught a walleye and got grape jelly, which could both be donated, and I got level 7 fishing. On day 76, the storm had passed, and I had my precious battery pack. I don't know what this does, so I'm just gonna put it away for now. I spent a lot of the day trying to get stone so I could upgrade my barn and get a goat for some goat cheese, but I really didn't get anywhere close. However, I did get large milk that I could donate to the community center, so it was an alright day. Since I made it to the bottom of the mines, I figured I didn't need my pickaxe for now, so I put it to get upgraded on day 77. Then when I stopped by Penny's, she was cooking, and I guess I picked the wrong option because I'm pretty sure I lost a heart with her. I wasn't too worried about this because I was pretty close to marriage. At least that's what I assumed. I thought 8 hearts got you to marriage, and then the last 2 were like super marriage or something, but it turns out 8 hearts is dating, and 10 is marriage. Uh-oh. No time to have a love crisis, though the traveling merchant is selling amaranth, and I gave it to Marnie to feed her cows or something. I don't know, like I said, I'm not asking any other questions. Once you start giving, you really can't stop, because the day after I gave her that amaranth, Marnie asked for a cave carrot. To get my mind off it, I decided day 78 was going to be a fishing day, so I went out to cast the rod and clear my mind. I was able to get a tiger trout, and as I was making my way home, I gifted Emily some wild honey, because she's my wild honey. Sorry, Penny, I just wanted to make that joke, but Emily was the closest person. Please forgive me. On day 79, my pickaxe was ready, and on my way to the mountain, I spotted the basket that I was supposed to be looking for. I returned it back to Linus and hoped I would be done with random scavenger hunts at least for a little while. I went back to fishing and caught a red snapper from the ocean, meaning I was only 1 fish away from each of the bundles that I had left, meaning that the fish tank felt a little bit more attainable. It was not. Turns out I missed some fish in the summer that I can't get any other time, meaning I can't complete that bundle either. Man, this is really falling apart. Luckily, I was feeling a little bit better on day 80 because my new dinosaur was hatched, and it was randomized to be named Jello, which is a great name for a dinosaur. I kinda wish there was like more than one type of dinosaur. I know I should be happy just to have a dinosaur and all, but I feel like a little T-Rex would be really cool. And hey, I finally found a use for that battery pack. I could use it to make an iridium sprinkler. Hey Stardew Valley pros, did I make the right decision in wasting my singular battery pack on something like a sprinkler that would be useless next season? Vote now. I had some money building up, and you gotta spend it when that happens, so I went to Willie's place and got an iridium rod, which could be helpful to catch better fish, I assume. On day 81, I planned to go to the mines to get more stone to upgrade the barn, but I barely got any stone and basically just wasted the whole day. At least I got level 6 mining. I stopped by the traveling merchant cart on day 82 hoping she would have some kind of fruit that I could donate, but I didn't see anything. I remember that Marnie wanted a cave carrot, and instead of searching in the mine for free, I spent like 200 gold on this from the traveling merchant. Honestly, that was the best decision I could have made. When I got some geodes opened up, I got an item that said it was great for sculpting and making paint, which clearly is meant for Leah since she sculpts and paints. I stopped by and gifted it to her and... What do you people want? I went to the mines on day 83 because my new pickaxe was nice and upgraded so I could finally break the barrier between me and that dwarf. Alright, time for drastic measures. When in doubt, just blow stuff up. Sadly, the dwarf was speaking some other language and my dealer cut me off, so I just kinda had to let him talk and leave. Tonight was Spirit's Eve, which was by far the coolest event so far. The atmosphere was great, the maze was more fun than I thought, and I felt like it also let some characters have a bit more personality, with some people being scared, other people being confident. I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. Of course, I made it through the maze with ease and got the golden pumpkin before finishing out the night. On day 84, I bought an apricot that allowed me to finish the artisan bundle. I was rewarded with a keg so I could get drunk or something, I don't know. I also had some things that I could donate to the museum, and as a reward I got a flute block. Cool. Winter finally arrived on day 85, and luckily I came very prepared with this silo. I forgot to cut any grass. Well, looks like we're helping Marnie make that paycheck this month. At least the silo looks nice. I completed a special order for Gus, and in return he sent me a mini fridge so that I had extra storage space for my fridge. Didn't even know you could put anything in those fridges, so now I have two. I hit an artifact spot and got a chicken statue, which I was so excited to place. For some reason you can't place the chicken statue? Why would you call it a chicken statue if you can't display it like a statue? When I went to go donate the useless chicken statue, I saw some weird guy who ran away and I needed to find him. I'll worry about that later, I have other things to do. I donated the chicken statue and in return got a chicken statue. Wait a minute. Please, 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 please. Yes! It was day 86 and I got the last foraging items needed to complete the crafts room, and while I was in there, I also spent some money to finish the vault room too. If I was playing on my own, I probably would not have spent all this money, but since we're trying to see how far I can get in 100 days, this just made sense. I followed some footprints to a bush and the shadow guy popped out and gave me a magnifying glass, which I didn't know how to use, but thanks anyway, I guess. I went to sleep, and while I was asleep, the dude bros fixed the bus. Waking up on day 87, I went to go to the museum and I saw that the quarry was also opened up. The rocks were cool, but I was more worried about the ominous room with a skull sign in it. I made my way through this little maze and my prize was a golden scythe. Happy winter. No grass. Honestly, it looks cooler in this guy's hands. Can I just give it back? I got a bear statue from the museum which looked extremely cool and it was much bigger than I expected. Then I finally made the trip over to Calico Desert. I ventured around for a bit and I came across the Skull Caverns. Now I was flying through the last couple levels of the mine and I guess this was a continuation of the mine, so let's see how bad it really is. Okay, well, I died on level 1, but it's all good. We found the place, that's all that matters. I decided to call it for a day and I leveled up my combat. On day 88, I started to get worried because I was closing in on day 100 and still had not been married. I knew I probably should have been spending more time focusing on building relationships and learning what Penny liked, but I forgot. I'm not romantic, these are just pixels on the screen. As I went into town, I saw that Haley was asking for a diamond and was paying a pretty big price for it, and since I was strapped for cash, I went to the mines but didn't find anything. I went to drink my sorrows away but got a cutscene with Gus and his big omelet. Do you think my old job would take me back if I called? When I left my house on day 89, I was met with this very odd rock sitting here. I figured I needed to upgrade my pickaxe, but I didn't have enough copper, so I went down to the mines. I also got a dwarf gadget from a geode. Okay, this thing is definitely for the dwarf. I mean, who else would want this other than him? Okay, I assume he's saying he likes this. I really don't know. While I was on my farm, I found a secret note which explains some people's favorite items, which would have been nice a couple seasons ago, but I did learn that Penny loves emeralds. Of course, I picked the one with expensive taste. On day 90, Pierre sent me a letter telling me that if I want to fall in love, all I have to do is spend money at his shop. Listen, man, it's kind of getting sad at this point. I'll run you a couple dollars here and there, but this is embarrassing. Also, Clint wanted me to give Emily some amethyst from him, and even though I hate Clint, I wanted to progress the story, so I'll do it. While I fished, I finally got a sturgeon fish and decided to go to the secret woods since I had never tried fishing in there before. On the way there, Penny was teaching kids something and we talked about starting a family. Things were moving really quick, but sadly not quick enough since we only had 10 days left. At the secret woods, I got a wood skip and donated it as well as some wine for another bundle. I finally ran into Penny and gave her the bouquet, making her officially my girlfriend. Not wife. Still gotta get 2 more hearts for that. Man. On day 91, I was feeling adventurous since I had a girlfriend now, so I went back to the Skull Caverns, but maybe I was a little too adventurous because, as you may remember, I gave my pick to Clint to upgrade, meaning that this trip was a complete waste of money and time. I don't know how, but I'm gonna find a way to blame Clint for this. I just spent the rest of the day fishing to try to make some money back. Day 92 was the Festival of Ice, and of course I won the fishing tournament because I'm the greatest fisherman ever. The prizes were less than great, but really all I care about is the win. My pick was ready on day 93, so I headed back to Calico Desert to venture into the Skull Caverns again. I needed to make it to level 25, and I improved over my last trip out there. That is to say, I made it to level 2 before leaving. Maybe I need a new weapon or something, because this was not easy. I made my way back into town with some amethyst in hand and gave it to Emily. Even though I told her it was from Clint, she still wanted me and kissed me. Honestly, this is the best case scenario. After successfully stealing someone's crush, I got a skeleton statue, cause yeah, sure, why not? I was ready to figure out what that weird thing on my farm was, so I finally got my newly upgraded pickaxe and... I really needed a large brown egg so that I could complete the pantry room of the community center, and even though I was pretty strapped for cash, I bought a heater for my chickens and dinosaurs so that their happiness could raise faster. I hoped I could get a large brown egg before the 100 days was up, but I really didn't know how long it was gonna take. I also broke out the duplicating machine and put a diamond in there as a way to make some money, though it wasn't gonna be fast, but at least it was something. Honestly, the lack of money in this portion of the game made it feel like my progression was pretty much at a halt. On day 95, I just decorated the farm more or less. I mean, it doesn't look good, but I really didn't feel like doing anything else that day. I got mail from the wizard on day 96 asking for void essence, which I had a ton of in my chest, and I was hoping it would trigger something else to happen, but he just told me to leave. I decided to hype myself up and get back into the skull caverns and get through it once and for all. I made bombs and I purchased stuff from Harvey. Yeah, the first time in 96 days I'm doing that. I made my way down to the skull caverns and I was killing it. Or more like I was getting very lucky. Maybe the game was just taking pity on me. As I moved through, I would sometimes find holes that let me skip like 4 or 5, sometimes 7 levels. This made it easier to get down to level 25. I won't say that it was easy, but it was definitely easier. I was not going to try my luck any farther past level 25, so I packed it up and went home. Because of my bravery, on day 97 I got sent 10,000 gold. I wasn't too sure what else to do, so I wasted more money to go get artifacts from the Calico Desert. I'll be honest, I kind of thought something would happen here once I reached level 25, but I guess not. I went back home and killed some red slimes for Lewis and then called it a night. On day 98, all I did was fish. That's it. I did catch a squid and I was able to give that to Willie, but yeah, as you can tell, I wasn't really sure what I'm supposed to be doing at this point. It was now day 99 and I still did not have a large brown egg, which was really frustrating, especially since I was pretty sure I was doing everything right. I stopped by the night market and it was pretty cool. I went on a fishing trip and caught a bunch of spook fish and then bought some stone frogs to decorate my farm. Very productive day. And finally, day 100. I started the day by visiting the Hat Mouse and buying the Bonnet of Shame. I had not completed any of my goals, which is sad because I only had 2. I was kind of close to completing the community center. I was basically soft locked at this point because of mistakes that I made in other seasons, and I was about 1 heart away from marrying Penny, but unfortunately I just ran out of time. I think if I had done a bit more planning, I could have easily done everything, but the point of this was to do a blind playthrough and see what could be done with a specific goal in mind. That night I went back to the night market and bought even more items to decorate, and I enjoyed the mermaid show. I made my way back and did a little bit of decorating in my house before finally finishing off the 100th day of my Stardew Valley playthrough. Thank you guys for checking this one out. Even though it was a little bit of a failure on the goals, and I still did have a lot of fun making the video and playing the game. Maybe we'll get a 200 days, who knows? I kind of really want to complete the community center, so we'll see. Once again, shout out to Liz the Last for helping me out with this one. Go check out her video on 100 days in Stardew if you have not already, because she does much better than I do. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this, but other than that, I will see you in the next one.